One interview, one voicemail lost, and one new relationship that might not be as real as it looks. Chrisean's choice to speak her truth may never be completely forgiven by the internet. The masterpiece emerged from the mess. But is it too late for peace? Chrissy seems to be improving Rand's situation this time. It might not be reversible. After years of emotional ups and downs with Blueface, she is not just moving on but also rising. In a shocking new interview, Chrissy lays everything out, sending social media into a frenzy. She finally finds peace after a protracted and toxic relationship with Blue, and she talks candidly about the ongoing conflict with Diddy's Aunt Tia. A developing romance with a supposed NBA star is also hinted to by her. But just when supporters thought they had heard it all, Carlos Saffold took a surprising turn that sent shockwaves across conversation, leaving everyone stunned and desperately looking for explanations. It's more than just a new chapter for Chrissy. It is an entirely new book. The guest avoids inquiries and provides evasive answers, so this isn't your typical sit-down with lots of drama. This is unlike any Christian you have ever seen. Pure, unadulterated, and emotionally judgmental. She wasn't there to play games or protect anyone's reputation, and that much was clear. She came with a kind of genuine emotional weight, her pain, and her sincerity. The camera captured every quivering lip, every heartbreaking pause, and every bold word she delivered in a voice full of heartbreak and anger. Her tongue was rough and she talked without hesitation to rehash betrayals, to identify names, or to unveil the sinister secrets that have long been hidden in the background of her story. The story was not the only aspect of this. Souls were born by it. Not because she was weak, but because years of pain had suddenly surfaced. She broke down in tears in the middle of her statement. The vulnerability made viewers lean in instead. Avowed, legal receipts she left behind would make any lawyer stop and look for concrete proof. Timelines, dates, screenshots, and receipts that might significantly affect people who thought their secrets were safe. But it went beyond simply assigning blame. Chrisean also pulled back the layers of her life, revealing personal insights that were like pages from a private notebook. She described heartbreak in great details, not just the hurt of being left behind, but the deeper hurt of being misunderstood, misjudged, and mistreated. She openly discussed the anguish of dating someone who loved her in public but secretly hurt her, and how it shaped the woman she is now. And just when you thought she was done, she turned around and found herself in her current situation. Recent romance is already under scrutiny and has its own drama. But this time Chrisean seemed more astute. She is still affected by the storm. But she's got the umbrella now. The interview was more than simply a time to rant. It was an emotional reckoning and a moment of transformation. In fact, she didn't feel ashamed to confront her past by accepting full responsibility for her mistakes. She demonstrated that progress is possible even in the midst of chaos. As I listened to her speak, I felt as though I was witnessing someone reclaim their power via excruciating peace. Whether you love her or don't agree with her choices, one thing is certain. Chrisean isn't running from her realities anymore. She is standing firmly and powerfully in it. There was more to this interview than just making headlines. It was honest, uncensored, unrepentant, and deeply self-reflective Chrisean. She led viewers through the tumultuous period of her relationship with Blueface, which was marked by tragic betrayals, public altercations, and emotional outbursts. Chrisean revealed the emotional destruction she went through, including being abandoned outside a studio while pregnant, gaslighting, and toxic love, admitting that she had once loved him more than she loved herself. She exposed online slander and drunken phone calls. And she wasn't shy about calling Blueface's mother, Carissa, the devil and designer, making the decision to speak up after years of silence. The next step in the paternity roller coaster was Blueface's voicemail, in which she expressed her loss and sadness and that she would no longer allow him to be her weakness. Subsequently, the plot shifted to involve a quiet NBA player. Tom was a tall, present-focused person. She used gifts, cryptic compliments, and cunning smiles to tease her devotees. It's peace wearing a jersey. When asked about Diddy's Aunt Tia's questionable tweet, she clapped back aggressively. "The fleas were not me. They were your family's tree," voicing her displeasure with someone she once looked up to. During a wild moment during the interval, Carissa inadvertently went live on Facebook, scolding Chrisean while being filmed. Screenshots and receipts captured her on camera. Chrisean addressed her tense connection with Jaden Blueface's other baby mama as it seemed to be coming to an end, scolding her for switching partners and failing to remember that the same man had hurt them both. Chrisean stated, "I am no longer." The girl crying outside Blueface's door, and she firmly closed it. She will never go back now that she is a mother. When Chrisean started secretly leveling up, she made sure her return was hidden until it wasn't. When she announced her new NBA partner to the world, the internet shook when fans noticed that Jaden seemingly unfollowed her almost instantly. Then the shadow came, unrepentant and stinging. Chrisean opened fire. She owns him. I have a real man now instead of some rapper that became a darker dropout. By 3 in the morning, the room was quite quiet. Blueface's own slurred, tearful, and regretful voicemail. "Rock, you were the one person who ever really stood by me. This house feels empty without you. Let's raise him together." When the message came on, Chrisean looked straight into the camera. Heavy but calm, saying he had every opportunity, but he put his pride before his family. When asked if all this turmoil would make her new lover back away, she just smiled and said, "That's his cross to bear now. Do you think he doesn't know who I am? He watched the zoo and saw it all, just like you all do. But do you know what he said? I am more familiar with your heart than others are." Then she teased the world by revealing his name. Starts with a J, and ends up losing 30 points yesterday evening. Fans immediately go into detective mode. But it wasn't only Blueface's desperate message or the revelation of a new love. That was the real twist. It was Chrisean's excitement. She sounded healed, composed, and strong. "You spent so long calling me a mess," she answered, "but now I am the message." The next phase in the Diddy drama was the interviewer's unapologetic, subtly mentioned reference to blacklisting rumors. Chrisean explained how some seasoned professionals were displeased because she didn't ask to sit at their table and instead brought her own. She even revealed a never-before-seen direct message that allegedly originated from Diddy's Aunt Tia, in which she was told in 2 words that she could not attend an event. Not approved. It really was a shade. After she tried to prevent me from going to a party, I became the main character on her timeline. Unfazed, said Chrisean. Things took a turn for the worse, though, when Carissa Blueface's mother called. The production during filming and threatened to sue if her voicemails and SMS were shared. Chrisean laughed heartily, "It's an issue now that I'm bringing receipts. Man, even though you've been dragging me for the past 2 years." She raised her hand like a judge. The case was dismissed. It is impossible to sue someone for telling the truth. The studio gave a cheer. Then things took an unexpected turn. A producer gave the interviewer a phone during the taping, and the phone displayed an Instagram story from a verified account. A mystery note from Chrisean's new man's alleged ex-girlfriend, who posted that she had been with him in Sabio photos and videos just 2 months earlier, hinted at previous romances. Chrisean watched the film in real time. Her face was stony. She asked if she was taken by surprise and mumbled, "Wow, so that's how you move now?" She nodded. It hurt. "I honestly thought he was special. I'm not the girl who fights for a man. I'm the woman who lets clowns perform alone." The comment caused the internet to go bananas, and hashtag #ANBAGay and hashtag #NotChrisEan were trending hashtags. Some ridiculed her, saying she is a troublemaker. Others defended her, reminding everyone that public healing is never simple. Even JT from City Girls seemed to be tweeting about the topic. Don't let your mothers, relatives, or former boyfriends discredit you. Blueface could not cope with the drama. Either he posted a rock emoji next to a clown and then took it off. Screenshots are unbreakable even after 10 minutes. Chrisean clapped back right away. The biggest clown always speaks when the tents are empty. Within 48 hours, brands began to react. While it was being reviewed, a cosmetics collaboration was halted. Diddy's crew issued a statement distancing him from the incident. Carissa tried to make her hot moment into stardom by posting offers from her own brand in the meantime. But as the tension simmered, Chrisean's fanbase increased quickly. O also made rapid money on Instagram, TikTok climbing, and YouTube. Summer Walker broke the monotony with a 3-slide story that created a stir again just when it appeared that the chronology could go no farther. Summer Walker supported Chrisean with 3 powerful Instagram posts. slides with a story that excited the audience. A selfie of Summer with the remark, "Don't judge women finding peace after pain, you couldn't survive it." Then came a preview of an unreleased song with lyrics that many claimed were about Chrisean. "She sounds like she finally woke up. Healing isn't linear. I feel her. He was wildly in love with me. I now have a greater affection for myself." Chrisean hashtag Summer immediately. As N gained popularity, fans pleaded for a sit-down. Anything would connect these two in a series of documentaries. But just as support was beginning to build, Whack 100 Blueface's loyal manager decided to stir things up. When he went to live in Clubhouse, he called Chrisean's emotional growth and behavior. "She's crying for sympathy now." He asked in a mocking manner. He even hinted at releasing unpublished Zeus backstage footage in an effort to discredit her emerging narrative, but the internet would not have it. In response, supporters charged that Whack was retaining chaos. His only goal is to keep Blueface's circus safe. An Instagram follow-up prompted a rare introspective tweet that read, "Chrisean ain't crazy. She's a mirror in. Most folks can't handle their own reflection." Sukihana then made an unexpected appearance after someone uploaded a montage of Whack ranting in interviews with the comment, "This man needs a hug and a new hobby. Home, in the past, I have also battled for love. I now fight for peace." The fans were shocked. Suki is spitting forth the truth. In an attempt to prove their ongoing involvement, the NBA Boo's ex returned with a flurry of alleged receipts, screenshots, plain stubs, matching jewelry, and photographs. Fans were unconcerned a month ago when one tweet read, "Women like Chrisean have been villainized for surviving." The tides were shifting, but peace was short. There are several levels. One person said, "Sis, you're posting like you won, but he's with her in public." Even T-pages started to doubt the timing. Why now? They asked why hold off till after the interview. Chrisean, on the other hand, said nothing, letting her supporters in silence do the talking, while social media was blazing with reactions to Chrisean Rock's most recent interview, explosive videos, and trending controversy. Something much bigger was simmering in silence behind the scenes. Although the online commotion was chaotic and boisterous, it was really a distraction from a more intricate and strategic game that was playing out in the background. Chrissy was already preparing her next power move, which might drastically change her public image and take her out of reality. While critics chastised her for her unpredictable behavior and fans quarreled over every action she took. TV celebrity to mainstream acceptability. A dubious blind item started circulating on several well-known booze websites and entertainment-related blogs, creating excitement and interest across a number of channels. The post was brief but powerful. A contentious character may be going to a large streaming platform for her own unscripted series instead of collaborating with Zeus. Speculative activity on the internet exploded right away. Twitter timelines are full of theories. Instagram users deluged comment sections with the moniker Chrisean Rock, while TikTok creators posted reaction videos. Before long, she was really stoking the fires herself. There were no official announcements, no tags, and no detailed explanations, just the simple but powerful comment, "Meetings, it's up." She posted a picture of herself standing arrogantly in front of Amazon Studios, but one image was enough to say a lot. People quickly realized that this was not just another viral trick. This marked a sea change. The topic shifted significantly. Instead of mocking Chrisean's unpredictable behavior on Zoo's network or her turbulent relationship with Blueface, people began to see her as someone who was altering the course of events. Previously characterized as messy, reckless, and unpredictable, this woman was now perhaps working with a large global streaming corporation. "She's turning the mess into a masterpiece," an admirer wrote in a tweet, perfectly capturing the new feeling that was rapidly gaining traction on social media. The irony was immediately pointed out by others in comments like, "Blueface watching her, level up in 4K, fairness and poetry." This apparent arrangement with a large platform, especially one like Amazon, caused a huge shift in the entertainment industry's perspective of Chrisean. Behind the viral headlines and reality TV moments, it suggested that there was someone with the business savvy to turn her fame into real opportunities. Her honesty, rawness, and emotional transparency, once perceived as flaws, were suddenly seen as marketable qualities. What made this occasion so powerful was that it represented more than just a new endeavor. It symbolized a possible recapture of her own story and rebranding. After serving as a tumultuous supporting role in someone else's drama, Chrisean might now be writing, producing, and starring in her own. The sole factor was no longer fame. It was about control, evolution, and turning the public's unrest into one's own currency. If this deal is real, Chrisean is doing more than just surviving the media frenzy. It's being driven by her. This wasn't just hearsay. It had appendages. The rumors were stoked by an Instagram photo she posted of Chrisean standing firmly outside Amazon Studios. The caption described meetings, but it was brief. It's up. No tags, no further explanation, just enough to send her followers into a frenzy. Suddenly, people were talking about more than just her problems. They were talking about her transactions and the possibility of a new chapter from being perceived as a dysfunctional reality star who could land a big unscripted contract with Prime Video or another service. This was a turning point that even her critics had to admit. The tone shifted online. She's using the mess to create a masterpiece. One commenter expressed the sentiment of those who have seen her go from public tantrums and viral moments to a woman who may be rewriting history entirely. Some comments made fun of her infamous ex-boyfriend Blueface as she leveled up in 4000. A poem about poetic justice was posted, and it immediately got a lot of likes. This potential trade, though unconfirmed, demonstrated Chrisean's growth and her potential for deft play of the long term. If she is in fact working with a major streaming giant, it means Hollywood is beginning to look past the chaos and recognize the attraction, the authenticity, and the gripping story. Even fewer have been able to sustain it through highs and lows and all points in between. That she has, after all, received more attention than most. More than anything else, this moment revealed something deeper. Perhaps Chrisean has had enough of playing defense. She doesn't just reply to news articles anymore. They are being revised by the woman. From boardroom meetings with suit-clad executives to the viral mayhem of Zeus Network, this was more than just a chance for pictures. It was a sign that people might want to reevaluate their assumptions about her. Considering that amid the disputes, the tears, despite the noise, Chrisean is creating something. This time boldly, quietly, and maybe even according to her own terms. Chrisean's most recent chapter received a lot of response on the internet. As expected, the takes were loud, divided, and everywhere. Some people thought her tearful interview and set a new romance were just part of a pre-arranged makeover. A deliberate effort to clean up a problematic past and alter public opinion. Others, however, commended her unvarnished candor and emphasized that it takes real bravery to own your past. Be truthful and strong when faced with hardship. One thing was clear regardless of where individuals landed. Everyone's attention was on Chrisean. Comment sections on every social media was ablaze with unexpected accolades and hot takes. You all don't realize how smart she is. I don't trust any of them, but I'll watch every episode, one fan wrote in a comment. Then followed the sentiment. That sent shockwaves around the globe. She is still alive and has endured hell. Those words alone seem to resonate with a generation that has witnessed her rise, fall, and now possibly rebuild. However, Blueface's mother, Teresa, was to blame for the drama train returning to the station just when things seemed to be improving. For her, with her hair wrapped, her voice loud, and accusations flying, Teresa, who never enjoys watching from the sidelines, threw herself into the fray with a wild live stream. She said that Chrisean had stolen a watch, claimed that NBA players were pursuing her purely for their influence, and even implied that they might smoke her. A sloppy tint of resentment, no bills, no proof. Still, spectators couldn't help themselves. Social media once more erupted in admiration of the situation, not in agreement with Teresa's claims. Chrisean, at least in public, was unaffected by the mayhem. As though she knew the spotlight would ultimately wane, she remained silent in response to Teresa's remarks, saying more than any clapback could. One user made the joke, "Teresa wakes up and chooses violence," while another fan referred to her as the ultimate ruler of baby mama culture, encapsulating the bizarre reality TV vibe of the time. Chrisean seemed determined to move on, not only as a viral fame, but also as a woman in control of her own narrative, whether it was through a rebranding or a rebirth. The statistics, views, and flurry of responses showed that people were not merely observing, they were actively involved. The situation then changed to include allegedly leaked texts from Christian's NBA lover. He said, "She's crazy, but I kind of like that," according to screenshots shared by an anonymous user. Good PR too. "I've been trending ever since she posted about me." In just a few minutes, the hashtag "the PR stunt" went viral and fans freaked out. "Please don't betray me again." "She deserves better," Christian stated at 3:04 a.m. "Live no glam, no filters, just her in a hoodie, raw and direct." "It's okay if those texts are true," she said quietly, "but let me clarify, I'm a man's PR tool. My bag may be blocked by a label. For power, a mother may tell lies. However, no one is ever going to break me again." Then she grinned. "Take a moment. To yourself." The same morning, a new Instagram page released a 10-second preview adding, "They want chaos." The voice of Christian on a black screen said, "I'm giving them a documentary." There were brief flashbacks, hospital stays, backstage fights, and quiet moments with her baby before the screen went black again. Then Christian's rebirth is imminent. Chrissy sent out one last tweet just when the timeline seemed to be at its end. Just 7 words, no hashtags, no emoticons. "He was never necessary to me, just tranquility." Mic drop, a dot. We now question whether the NBA player is truly playing her, whether Carissa is being sincere, or whether she is just pursuing clout again.